reaction to what Lewis did today?
I had a great drive. We didn't do a perfect job. Didn't really get the car right on the option tyre in the middle stint, and that's where we really lost the race. The strategy was better. We went longer than them in the second stint, but what a great drive from Lewis, and solid performance. I think, 3 people leading the World Championship. That's maths. Great beginning to the season. I'm sure everyone's looking forward to Spain, and certainly we are.
So you'll go away and you'll talk about tactics, you'll analyse tactics, but the bottom line is Lewis got the absolute maximum out of what was available today.
Yeah, he did a great job, and as you can see, he closed on Massa. I don't think Massa was doing anything other than push, and strangely enough, we did a better job on the prime tyre, but this is life. We have a lot of developments coming. Now it's who can do the best job between now and Spain. We'll be a lot quicker. Let's hope quick enough.
Rod, well done here. We will analyse and applaud another outstanding drive from Lewis Hamilton and get all the Bahrain Grand Prix reaction in just a couple of minutes' time.
Felipe, what a fantastic day for you after Malaysia. A perfect afternoon for you.
Yeah, definitely, For sure, now we have a good break. So it's a good break to think about it, and for sure to think about it with a nice result. I think, during the first race, the results in the first 2 races was not like I expect. I think something was missing, especially in the first race we had a problem. The second race, what's happened, a bit of mistakes, and also something was missing, and this time we could put everything together. So really pleased to the whole team, the job they made here, the strategy, the setup and everything. So really pleased, and pretty much sure now we need to push even harder. Looking that McLaren is quite close, we need to push even harder to try to keep the momentum.
Let's talk about the start. A lot of pressure, a lot of talk about that first corner. What was it like from your point of view?
Well, the best way is to make a good start after. When you have all these problems on the media during the week. Fortunately, it was just 1 week, and the best way is to do a good start. To do a good race and to finish in the front. So I'm sure now they're gonna talk different way.
You looked to be in control, but Lewis started to come very close to you towards the end of the race. What was it like at that point?
Well, the first stint, my car was not really well balanced, so I was suffering with a lot of oversteer, and Lewis was quite close during the whole stint. And then the second stint was fantastic for me. The car was behaving very, very well on scrub tires, and I took away a little bit of front wing, and it was really much more easy to drive. I could manage to build a very, very nice and good gap. And then the last stint, I had hard tires, so I saw also the gap, which was quite reasonable. So I started to looking after my car, to looking after the race, and it was just not many laps to finish. So I was just keeping the pace and going through the traffic.
A fantastic day for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Lewis too, congratulations to you. Let's hear about that first lap, first of all. It was very, very close.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't get I didn't get as good a start as Felipe. But, he did very well into the first corner. Managed to keep first. I just had to try and make sure that I stayed as close behind him as possible. Maybe have a chance on the first lap. But, I think we were fairly matched. And, I just had to make sure I stayed as close as possible to him. So when we came into the pits, I knew I was going longer than him. I knew that he would be going for a lap more than me. And so I had to make sure I stayed as close as possible. Struggled a little bit in the second stint, but came on strong at the end.
You did indeed. Talk a little bit about that second stint. Why was that? You're still on the soft tyres at that point.
Yeah, I was still on the soft tyres. The car was quite a bit different with scrub tyres. I had quite a bit more understeer. And that was really where I was losing. The balance wasn't very good, so I was unable to brake as late and carry as much speed through certain corners, and therefore I was just losing a lot of time to Felipe. But we got back onto the hard tyre, and I was able to keep up the pace.
Looked as if you saw quite a lot of Anthony Davidson's oil as well towards the end.
Yeah, I don't know if that was oil or what, but it looked like something was damaged on his car. And but he was, I think the marshals did a great job today. The stewards getting the blue flags out. I think it was a lot better here than it has been in the past, and so fair dues to them.
You have made history today, 3 successive podiums. Your thoughts on that?
Sweet. I'm well happy with it. I think this weekend we had definitely closed the gap towards Ferrari, and to have another second already in my third race, I couldn't ask for more. And there's only one more step from here, and we'll be pushing, making sure that in Barcelona we'll be just as quick.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kimmy, turning to you, stuck behind Fernando Alonso in the early stage of the race. How much did that define the day for you?
I think so. After that was difficult to come back and challenge on the front. I got past him, but I think so we needed to go a little bit shorter in the middle to make sure that we get in front of him. And then I was too short for challenging Lewis. I think so. I got very close in the second stop, but it wasn't enough. But I think so was my mistake also on the start. But anyhow, we third place, and we know we're losing out, and what's our problem. And hopefully next test we can find something what is a bit better for me.
It's a great start to this Formula One season, and what a battle is unfolding in that Drivers' Championship. 3-way tie for the lead. Fernando Alonso, Kimi Raikkonen, and now Britain's Lewis Hamilton as well. Felipe Massa joining the battle after his victory in today's Bahrain Grand Prix. And the Constructors' competition, McLaren against Ferrari, and it's still advantage McLaren with a 5-point lead, but Ferrari take the spoils here at Bahrain. Victory to Felipe Massa, but Mark Blundell, for Lewis Hamilton, his reputation intact and possibly reputation enhanced here as well.
Yeah, I think definitely so, because, what more can we say about the guy at the moment, Steve? Because every time he goes out in the race circuit, he does something spectacular. That, again, was a spectacular race, full stop. I mean, he blew his teammate into the weeds, and he was on the back of Massa pretty much for all the race, and he did a very difficult middle stint there with a lot of fuel on board and just kept the margin and built all the way into the race with a strong performance. I think at the end then, a couple of seconds away from the leader.
Yeah, we always knew though that if he was going to have any chance of victory, he had to nail the start, and didn't really make a mistake, did he?
He didn't make a mistake, no, but unfortunately just couldn't quite get the traction off the line there to benefit. And he was a little bit defensive then, just weaving across the road to make sure nobody did come by him. But, once he was in position, there was no problem with that. He just stuck on the back of the Ferrari. It was a clean start, but nothing that we've seen the last couple of races. But again, no mistakes, no faults. Unlike further down the grid now, where you've got a number of issues going on. And Jenson Button, unfortunately, looked like a tap there. And then Scott Speed also had his own little incident.
And as a result, it meant the safety car came out and there was a restart. And Kimi Raikkonen was rather caught napping here, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. And this is an important factor. When these restarts happen, these drivers should really be on their toes and really be behind the guy in front of them and stuck to the gearbox. Kimi did get caught napping, you're right there, and it was very costly to him. He should have been in the mix with these 3 guys at the front.
Okay, that's how it all began. We'll have more analysis, more reaction in a few minutes' time from here at Bahrain. Felipe Massa has taken victory for Ferrari in this Bahrain Grand Prix, but another outstanding drive from Britain's Lewis Hamilton to follow him in, taking second place. But we were hearing from Ron Dennis, Mark, right after the podium there, that maybe there was a question mark over McLaren tactics and maybe getting what they could have done out of those harder tyres. They were surprised a bit. Yeah,
I think they were a little bit surprised. I'm a little bit surprised also what they did in the middle of stint with Lewis. I think they might have just topped him off a little bit too heavy and made his workload a little bit too much. I think when they analyse it, they might reflect a little bit differently, but we'll have to wait and see. Credit to Felipe Massa today. He was under some pressure, wasn't he? He was under a lot of pressure. Huge amount of pressure from everybody who's been a little bit of a critic over the last 6-7 days because what went on at Malaysia. He's turned up and done the job. He's done the job for Ferrari, and he's put himself back into the World Championship run.
There were other strong British drives down the field. We've seen Jenson Button going out on the first lap, but David Coulthard starting from the back of the field. Astonishing today.
Well, you know, this is the DC of old, isn't it? But this must be very gratifying for DC to have now a car underneath him which he can race with. And he is a good racer, David. He's a solid guy. He's 13 Grand Prix. You don't get that without being a great driver. This is a nice move. It's just textbook stuff. Slips down the inside and just makes it clean.
And it was a tough day for Renault, who seemed to be making no real progress.
No progress. I mean, Renault, Honda are the teams which have gone backwards, but Renault even more so, bearing in mind they've been a Constructors' Champion and World Champions with the drive the last couple of seasons.
Meantime, BMW emerging as a very significant force, and the move of Nick Heidfeld over Fernando Alonso. This was sweet for everyone at BMW.
It was a great move, and the long way round, not an easy manoeuvre to do this. You know, and this is Alonso who's pulling that move on. He can't be too happy with that, Alonso, but at the same point, Heidfeld, fantastic stuff. I think for me, personally, he probably was the driver of the race in many ways. I think considering he's driving the BMW, it's not quite the performance level of McLaren and Ferrari. Great job.
Great day for BMW and Nick Heidfeld in particular, but what about the world champion? We can hear from Fernando Alonso right now.
Fernando, you've always been so strong at this track, but you've really struggled here today.
Yeah, well, I was not competitive today, and I was not able to have the right pace. And for sure, you know, the goal is always to win the podium, the target, and today I didn't achieve that.
What was the problem?
Well, I found no confidence in the car, and overall grip was quite poor. I was having understeer and oversteer at the same time, so you know, I was not able to sold out throughout the race.
Another great race for our man Lewis.
Yes.
Yeah, slightly begrudging that from Fernando Alonso, and one of the big features of what Lewis did today is the margin of his victory over his teammate.
Indeed, and we saw that last weekend with Alonso doing the same to Lewis, but we've had the flip side now. And, you know, again, mightily impressive. This is a guy who's only in his third Grand Prix, and he's already joint leader of the World Championship.
Great celebrations from Lewis Hamilton, and he's getting used to these, and he knows how to conduct himself in these circumstances. We're going to be seeing a great deal more of these kind of scenes and these kind of moments from Lewis Hamilton. Of course, it's a month to go to the next Formula One round. That's in Spain, as the championship arrives in Europe. The Spanish Grand Prix in a month's time. In 6 weeks, we'll be in Monaco, and you could be there with us. Here's another chance at our ITV F1 competition.
We've a 5-star experience for you this weekend. The chance to see one of the world's most exciting sporting events, the Monaco Grand Prix, and visit Barcelona, Saint-Tropez and Nice on board the luxury cruise ship Hebridean Spirit. You'll be flown out on a private charter plane, experience the Monaco Grand Prix from a terrace overlooking Saint-Devote, and you'll enjoy unrivaled hospitality with open bar, delicious food, VIP welcome pack and official Grand Prix programmes. And if that's not enough, you'll also get 3 days exploring the sophisticated French Riviera on board the luxury cruise ship Hebridean Spirit with guest speaker Murray Walker. So to be in with a chance of winning this fantastic prize, courtesy of Hebridean International Cruises, just answer this simple question. Monaco is on the coast of which sea? A. Mediterranean, B. Adriatic, or C. Baltic? The number to call 0901 293 2020, or text F1 plus your answer of A, B or C to 63337. Calls cost £1 per entry from BT landlines. Calls from other networks and mobiles may be higher. Text also cost £1 plus the standard network rate. Lines are open now and will close just before midnight, Tuesday the 8th of May. You've got to be 18 or over to enter, and details of this competition, including terms and conditions, can be found on the ITV F1 website.
Yes, good luck with that competition, and stay in touch with the ITV F1 website. A lot of great background to everything that's happening in Grand Prix motor racing. Lewis Hamilton, second again today. Let's get the reaction from the Lewis family. Anthony Hamilton and Lewis's brother Nicholas as well.
Anthony, your boy's done it again, hasn't he? Hello.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. You know, more than we ever would have expected, and you know, I think we're in the title hunt, aren't we?
Well, you're certainly up there at the moment. I mean, what a surprise is that with 3 races in?
Oh, well, I mean, you know, I thought, you know, if we end up 6th or 7th this year, I'll be happy, but this is absolutely out of this world.
And for the first time, the whole family is here this weekend.
Yeah, Nick's here with us as well, and my wife Linda's here as well, so yeah, very happy.
How much did you enjoy that, Nicholas?
So much. I really enjoyed it. It was the best race I've ever seen, actually. Just to see him closing the gap on Massa was amazing, and just come away with second is great.
You're almost lost for words on that one, aren't you? I've never seen you so emotional.
I know. I'm not normally like this. I can normally speak for England, but today is completely different. So I don't really know what to say.
Well, we thoroughly enjoyed watching it. Well done.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Well, it's hardly a month off now for Lewis Hamilton, I'm sure, but how does he use the next month? How do all the teams use the time ahead of Barcelona?
This is going to be a period where they go back, analyse where they're at. They've got a lot more development things coming through the pipeline, more testing to be done. I think for Lewis it would just be get home and have a breather and understand where he sits, and where he sits at the minute is at the top. I think there's a lot more to come from all the teams, McLaren, Ferrari and BMW now, Steve. I think they're going to be fighting for contention in the next race.
Yes, McLaren feel that they're going to arrive in Barcelona with a lot of new developments, and BMW will be strong as well. And Lewis Hamilton is still knocking on the door. Thanks very much indeed, Mark. Let's just remind you of where you can see our highlights of everything that's happened here in Bahrain today. We'll have highlights later tonight, repeated on ITV4 tomorrow. 11:15 tonight, though, ITV1. But this afternoon, some more great racing. It's British Superbikes from Thruxton. And we're off! Oh, this kid is on it. Gregorio Lavia win. Lavia is brimful with confidence. Gregorio Lavia taking a double race win. So Thruxton for the Superbikes this afternoon. The next from the British Touring Car Championship is next Sunday. We'll have coverage of round 2 from Rockingham, ITV3 at 4 o'clock. It's a month then till the next Formula One, but we arrive in Europe with the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona, qualifying May the 12th at 12:30, and the next day our coverage of round 4 of the Formula One World Championship will be at midday ahead of the 1 o'clock start of that Spanish Grand Prix. But here in Bahrain, another quality podium drive from Lewis Hamilton. It's now the most successful start to a Formula One career the sport has ever seen. But Massa takes the win as Ferrari return to form. Bye-bye.
For all the latest news and features, visit our F1 website, sponsored by Honda, at itv.com/F1.